Hi from Jerusalem. So it's been a really eventful day. This ceasefire that's been in place for around 10 days now. Um, well, both sides are trading fire, and the images coming out of Gaza are not looking good. So the Israelis have confirmed that they've carried out airstrikes today in the south of Gaza and also in the north. They're claiming that Hamas violated the ceasefire agreement, that they carried out attacks on Israeli soldiers, and that they responded accordingly. And if you look at the images over central Gaza, over Khan Yunis, the skyline there, you can just see plumes of smoke rising. It may be a ceasefire still on paper. That's not what it looks like on the ground. We've been receiving images from Al Aqsa Hospital in central Gaza today, and it's the same as the images that we're used to, ambulances with injured people, dead people arriving. And that particular incident was after what I've been told was a drone strike in central Gaza on a cafe where people were using the internet. Apparently, at least 5 people have been killed, more injured. And what's particularly unnerving about that strike in central Gaza is that it is essentially in the area where the Israeli military agreed to withdraw from when the ceasefire came in. Now, they've withdrawn to this so called yellow line, which is proving to be the most contentious, most dangerous element of this first phase of the ceasefire, which is barely holding. And the Israelis are supposed to now only be one side of the yellow line, and the area that was hit was the other side, that area in central Gaza. Now, there have been a number of incidents, deadly incidents in recent days, where Palestinians have been killed because they got too close to the yellow line, or they crossed the yellow line, or they appeared suspicious. That's what the Israelis are saying. But if you speak to people on the ground, they say, well, this yellow line, it exists on a military map, but there's no markings yet. So it's extremely dangerous. It's extremely confusing, and it's really hampering the delivery of aid. And it's really proving dangerous for people trying to reach their homes that they've not been back to for months, some of them. And there was an incident on Friday where 9 members of the same family were killed in a minibus trying to reach their home in Gaza City because apparently the vehicle appeared suspicious. Anyway, it's still horrific on the ground. I spoke to a doctor earlier from Doctors Without Borders, and she said to me they still have the same number of patients. Their maximum capacity is something like 110 beds in their field hospital, and they have 170 patients that they're treating, and that number hasn't changed since the ceasefire came in. And she said that a lot of their patients are being injured or killed because they've got too close to this yellow line, and others are people who've gone back to their homes or the areas where they lived, and they've picked up explosive ordnance. And she said that's also happening to children. So I'm very sorry to say I haven't got better news to bring you from Israel tonight. And in response to this latest exchange of fire on the ground in Gaza, Israel has also halted all humanitarian aid going into Gaza. So it is a really bleak picture. It feels like this ceasefire is hanging by a thread. And while it hasn't been acknowledged that the ceasefire is broken, both sides are exchanging fire, and innocent people and children are once again caught in the crossfire. So every hour counts at the moment. This ceasefire, in inverted commas, is holding hour to hour rather than day by day. I'll bring you updates on here, so stay tuned. If you don't subscribe yet, it's totally free. Hit subscribe and you'll see when the updates drop. I'll see you soon.